Hi guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to work with JavaScript strings. So we are going to talk about JavaScript strings. And these are the table of contents. So we are going to start with the introduction. We go to string properties, string creation and concatenation, common string methods, string searching and matching, splitting and joining strings, advanced string techniques, performance considerations, real-world examples and use cases, common mistakes, and finally the conclusion. So let's begin. So introduction to JavaScript strings. So in JavaScript, a string is a sequence of characters that represents text. It's one of the primitive data types of JavaScript. So to create a JavaScript string, so this is a data type and it is a sequence of characters and it has a syntax. So JavaScript strings can be enclosed by a single quote, a double quote, a backtick, or commonly known as the template literal, which allows embedding expressions and multi-line strings. So either use is okay, and now it's a matter of personal preference. But for these two, this is where your personal preference will come into play, or your linter. So let me open my VS Code so that we can start. So topic for today is JavaScript strings. So as we have said, a string can be declared using single quotes or double quotes. And we saw how we can declare variables. So we'll create a variable called my name. And then assign it. So you can see my formatter immediately changes this to double quotes, but this still works. So you can create using single quotes or double quotes. So maybe I can add autosave so that it doesn't format. So we can do that, and then we can do my second name is equals to, let me use TWT. So this is how you can declare a JavaScript string either by a single quote or a double quote. And then this one is wrong. So let's say my school is equals to TWT. So this one is wrong because in which data type does this lie? So that's the question you should ask yourself. In which data type does this lie? What is this? This is a sequence of characters. And what should you do with a sequence of characters? It should either be enclosed in a single quote or a double quote. Or, so let's say my first name, let's call this one first name. Then this one last name. So like that. So the template literal is the character when you press the key before the one key. So that one we press once. And then what this one helps us is to create strings. So we can create strings like let me use this one as a full name. So you can just dump the string here like that, or because a template reader allows you to insert expressions, so we can come here and evaluate we can insert the first name, and then the space, a space is still a character. So, and then the last name. So the full name at the end will hold that. All right. So let's console and see. Yeah, exactly. So this is what a template reader is used for most of the time. But it can also call a function here. It can also do mathematics. So I can do 1 plus 1. We talked about an expression. Then you can see 1 plus 1 is 2. So let's continue. We have seen the examples of strings. So this one is just declaring a variable, and then the variable the value is a string because a string is a sequence of characters. So next is you can store a number in a string and later on convert it. So we look at JavaScript numbers, but for now, let's start with my favorite num is equals to, we can do this. So this one will be a string, but we have methods, as I will come to show you. We have methods that can change this string into a number. So we can say console.log type of, so this is another function, type of my favorite number, and then console.log type of my favorite num dot, let me use the, we come to learn about this, but this is how you can convert number, a string to a number. So if I do this, you can see now the first one is a string and the second one is a string, but this is too much work, so it's not very advisable to do this. We will learn about JavaScript numbers, and then numbers you can just declare them as numbers. All right, so the next thing is primitive versus string object. So primitive means it's a primitive string, is a string that is a string that is constructed from a class or a string object. So we have two ways. So the first one is the primitive is equals to hello, and then the object one is saying my obj is equals to new string, then you say world. So these two are strings, but one of them is an object because this is an object that is using the string class to construct itself. So this one is a primitive, this one is an object, okay, but it's still a string because all these strings inherit from a base class of string, because if you hover this is a string, so they inherit from the base class. That's why we can do this, but we can also use the class itself to create a variable or to create a string, but it's not commonly used, so don't worry about this too much. Just make sure you know that this is how you can create a string, and make sure whatever you write in JavaScript is one of the data types. Don't write anything else, because what is that? So the next thing is string properties. We have the length and then immutability. So the length, so as I have said, so we can do something like my obj dot length, because I don't know whether I can, whatever I'm talking about here is that the string class has methods. So a method is a function inside an object. All right. So let's say we have a class. We can say class animal. I'm not going to teach about class in these lessons, classes. This is object oriented, but I just want to show you what is happening under the hood. So let's just go to the W3 schools, JavaScript classes. I want to pick a class. So this one is a constructor. So okay, so I hope, let's use this scenario. So we can use this car. I'll explain to you what is happening, and then create a car using the class. So I don't know whether you can see this. So this is a string, and what is this string doing? This string is using the class to initialize itself. Okay, so if we come here and add a function, so we can say, so what can we call? Move console.log moving. So this is a class. So we said we're not going to talk about classes, but just want to give an overview of what is happening. So this class has a constructor. A constructor is what helps us to construct itself. So this class, whenever we use this class, we might need to pass in data. Like you can see this car, we created a Ford of 2014. So these values we pass here are like arguments to a function, are what are passed to the constructor to initialize it. So just think about the constructor as just setting the ground. Getting our feet into the water and feeling the warmth. So don't worry about the constructor, but basically what the constructor does is to grab in whatever is passed in here and initialize it so that all the other functions, all the other stuff that are declared inside the class can work. So if we have the move, if we have a function inside a class, it's called a method. All right. So this is a method called move. And then this method is available to all the members that are using the class. You can see now. So this is the same concept we are doing here in the strings, right? And so I think you can see, so we can do the mycar.move because it's inheriting all those methods from its class. All strings are from a base class called string. All right. So you can see this syntax is quite similar. So all the methods available for the strings, we can access them. All right. So I hope you understood that. And then even if it's a primitive string, it still extends from the base class. So what are the methods that are available in a string? So these are the predefined methods that make it easier to work with JavaScript strings. So if I do primitive dot, I can see all the methods that are available on the string class. So all these are methods that are available, the trim, the uppercase, the tuning. You can use these functions to work with strings. It makes work easier. So just make this one bigger. So we have two properties of JavaScript strings. One, we can get the length, then immutability. Once you create a string, it's difficult to change it. So if we console log primitive.length, we get the length of the characters. So get 5. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, that's what we are talking about. We are talking about the length is a properties. All right, so I didn't tell you something. Let me go back to the class. So we said a function inside a class is called a method, but a property is a variable. So we can say so a variable inside a class is a property. All right. So if we go back, the length is a property because it's not a function. So we can grab the length using the primitive that you call the variable and then call the length. You don't also need to declare a variable. You say the variable is a container, just holds the value. So we can say world.length. Right? We don't need to declare it, but when declaring it, it's a bit easier to work with it. So the next property we have talked about is immutability. Strings can't be changed after creation. And the next thing we go ahead to work with is the string creation and concatenation. So we have just talked about the string creation. We are going to talk about strings concatenation. All right, what is concatenation? Concatenation is how do you combine two strings. All right, so I have const first name is equals to, let me use John, and then const last name, let's use Doe. So how can we get a full name? So one of the ways we can get a full name is to create it. So John Doe. So we can create a full name like that, but this is repetitive. So what we could do, this is repetitive and the question comes to play. What about when this one is John Bosco? So if this one is John Bosco, you have to go back and change here. All right. So how do we combine these two strings? That's what concatenation is. So to concatenate, you have two options. The first option is to use the plus sign. So we can say, so this one is first. So this one is first name plus last name. So this one basically combines the two. So let's see what we get. So we get the what we intended to get, but now we have an issue. And the issue is that these two are joined. What can we do? We have another solution for this. So we can add a space character and append it. So a space character is still a string. All right. And then now if we go back and run it, so it adds the first name, a character, space character, and then the last name. All right. So that's the first way. So let's look at the next ways. The next way is using the template retro. We said using the template retro, you can insert expressions. So we can say first name. This is the syntax. The syntax, we use a $sign and curly braces and whatever is inside. $sign and the curly braces. Last name. And make sure you use the backticks which are before the one character. So if we console log full name, we get the same result. So that's how you work with concatenation. So the next thing is the common string methods. So we are going to check a very few, but as I said, a method is a function inside a class or an object. So if a method is inside a class or an object, if a function is inside a class or an object, that's a method. So it has a lot. So when we did the dot symbol, let's say name equals TechWithTwin, and then if we do name dot, let's not use name. Name is a reserved keyword. So let's use my name. But it works the same. So if I say my name dot, you can see all these are methods. And then you have to see if you see the different colors. So these that have a bluish color are properties. And these ones that have a purplish color, these are the methods. So these methods makes our life easier. Like, let me just show you one. So we can call my name and then call a method called to uppercase. So to uppercase, as it says, takes in a strings and returns is it as an uppercase. So let's just see it in action. So you can see, so these are methods. So we have others like lowercase. All right. So these are very many methods. I've highlighted a few. So dot char at index 0. So we said indexing starts at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So if we get the character at index 0, we get a T. So these are methods that are in the base class, which now the children can use. So let's see another one that we can use. Includes index of, do we have a character that is not repeating itself? Yes. N. So index of N. So what is the index of N? 11. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's how you use the methods available in the class of a string. So the next thing you can talk about is, you can go through all these methods, but basically they do the same thing. More details, you can find them on W3 Schools. So string searching and matching. So you can search through a string using the search. So if we do hello world.search world, so let me just do it. Okay, so console.log hello world.search word. So let's see what it gives us. 6. So this is the syntax for searching. Similar things. This is a method that's available in the class. So you can do this regex searching. More details, you can find them on W3 Schools or online. All right, so you can do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it returns the first index of the occurrence. So the next thing is matching. So matching basically says match a certain text using a regex. So regex are regular expressions. These are used to search through a text. So I just paste this in and show you what it does. So what it does is that the match, we have the \d. So this \d is an escape character. So this is an escape character. Similar way you do the \n for a new line. This is an escape character for the \d. And then we have the plus. So this one means, so the D is for the digits. It says match one or more digits. So if you run this, not console log this. So this one. So it matches one or more digits. So 1, 2, 3. And it gives us more details, but it didn't match. So more details about regular expressions, that might be from another class, but we can just do these schools, JavaScript, regex. I think it's the regex. The regex is has a lot. It has a lot. You can see different, these are called flags. So the one I was showing you, the \d is used to find a digit. And then if you add a plus, it finds one or more digits. More on regular expressions in later tutorials. So the next one is the replace. So the replace is as simple as it sounds. So the replace is as simple as it sounds, whereby it takes in a string and it replaces whatever it's given with whatever is new. So this one, whenever you see it replaces a hyphen globally through all the string, that's what the G means, and replaces it with a colon. All right, so the next thing we need to talk about is splitting and joining strings. So in splitting, so let's say we take this. So we have this string which is separated by commas, and you need to split it. By splitting, we get another data structure called an array. So what does that mean? It comes and splits this string into A, B, and C. This is what it splits it to. Okay. So let me console rest. So this is the same thing in that it returns a new data structure. And then the other one, which is the dot join. Okay. Const joined is equals to, now we can take the rest. The rest now is a new data structure like this. And then dot join. So we want to join I think we can join with a hyphen. Now this one gives us a string. It essentially does the opposite. So it does the opposite of what first one did. So denote console log joined. So console.log joined. And then we get back to the previous. So it basically undoes what the split did. So the advanced Unicode characters, we have the Unicode character for maybe the heart. Let's see. So console.log. So let's see. So this, we have Unicode characters, which represents maybe symbols. So you can see it. So this is a new Unicode character. You can learn more about them. Then we can escape. So escaping means const my text is equals to let's do my he said. So what do you understand about this? So oh my he said, it needs quotation marks. So we have two solutions. We can do that. Still works. So my text. See? But what if we wanted double quotes here? So what would happen? Will it work or will it not work? You can see it has broken because now we have double quotes are used to create strings. Now we are using them for other things. And this is where the escape character comes into play. So this one basically means escape this and print it out as it is. All right. You can see there's an error. So we escaped this, escaped that. Yeah, select that. So if I come and do that, now you can see we did escape. But escaping means print it out as is. You can also escape a backslash escape. You can escape it as it is escaping others. All right. So that's about that. You have something else called normalization. We can normalize these Unicode characters, but you can do some of the research. And then emojis are surrogate pairs. Use array.from to handle them properly. So an emoji is a sequence of characters or pairs of sequences of characters. And to use them well, you need to use the array from. But this is not commonly used, so don't worry about it too much. So the next step is about performance considerations. So when working with strings in large amounts or inside loops, efficiency matters. So avoid using the plus in loops like this. Let result, then you go through the result adding in case it's a loop and the result is too large or the array is too huge. And this is inefficient because each addition of a new string, so whatever this one means, so let me just show you in case someone doesn't understand. Go back. So this exactly equals to result is equals to result plus s. So these are the same thing. So basically these are the same thing. And then finally, instead of using that, because it creates a new string, use the join to concatenate. We saw how the join was joining an array. Use the join to concatenate all of those. Then read word examples, maybe passing query parameters. So these are the URL parameters that are present in the URL bar. So, and you can see now we have Alice, name Alice. So you can come and split them by this. You can split them by this, by the, so let me show you. So let's go back. Let me call it result. And then, so what is happening? So the first thing we split by this. So let me just go step by step. The first split, we do it with the and. So we get name equals Alice, and we get age equals 25. And then we meet the map. The map goes through each item in the array, and then it splits by the equal sign. So we can get something like this. So we can get a new array with the name and Alice, and then age is equals 25. So this is exactly what we are going to get. So let's see it. So let's see it in action. Exactly. So the next thing is input validation. You can use regex to validate inputs. You can use regex to validate an email using the test. This one is regular expressions. As I told you, it's a huge list. You can go through the regular expressions, or maybe I'll create another tutorial about regular expressions. And then you can do dynamic formatting using the template backticks, and I also told template literals or the backticks, and I also showed you how to use them. And then finally, we have the common mistakes using the double equals instead of the triple equals. This one gives issues to beginners. So this one is not strict, this one is strict. And then misusing slice, substring, and substring as well. And then ignoring Unicode and emoji issues. So that's it from me, guys. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and happy coding.